Hi guys, Mimi G here with a new sew along. I have two new Simplicity patterns. We're going to start with Simplicity 8927, which is a fantastic top and skirt. The skirt comes in two lengths. I'm going to show you how to sew both. Let's get started. Okay guys, we're going to start working on our top. So let's go over the pieces you're going to need. So pattern piece number 3 is our shoulder strap. You're going to cut 2. Pattern piece number 2 is the back of our shirt, and you're going to cut 2 on the fold. Pattern piece number 1 is our front. Now let me just point something out for you guys so you don't get confused. Pattern piece number 1 is the right front, and pattern piece number 5 is the left front. Now this only applies if you're doing something with stripes. So on the picture you'll notice that we have a striped version, and I have my lines, my stripes going both horizontal and vertical. So that's why these pieces are separate. You'll notice that you have different grain lines. So if you're deciding that you want to make the striped one, you're going to be cutting one on the grain line and one on the cross grain. So that's why these are placed differently. Let me show you on a piece of fabric. Okay, so for example, if I was using a striped fabric and I wanted to get the same sort of idea of what you see here in the pattern envelope, with one side being horizontal stripes and the other one being vertical, then I'm going to use my grain lines. So I would place my grain line for the right front so that it's in the direction of my selvage, right? And that's going to give me the vertical stripes on my right side of the top. And then for my left, I would place it again so that my grain line is in the same direction as the selvage edge of my fabric, and that's going to give me the horizontal stripes on one side, on the other side of my shirt. In this case, I'm using only white fabric. So if you're using one color, then it doesn't matter. You would just use front 8 and you would cut 4. Okay, once all of your pieces are cut out, we can start sewing. All right, now I want you to go ahead and make your darts on your back pieces and also the bust darts on your front pieces. We're gonna start with 1 back and 2 fronts. We're gonna pin at our side seams. So with right sides facing, and make sure that you line up your notches, you're going to pin both side seams. And then place the other side, again, right sides facing, align at your notch. Okay, now head to your sewing machine and you're just going to stitch these down using a straight stitch using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, now using a straight stitch and 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, you're going to stitch your side seams together. Okay, now I want you to go ahead and press your seams open and trim them down. You're going to take your other 2 fronts and your back, and you're going to sew them together at the side seams just like we did here. Okay guys, so once you have both your top and your lining sewn together at your side seams and you've pressed your seams open, we can set this aside for just a second. We're going to make our straps. Okay, so in step 3, you're going to go ahead and grab your strap. You're going to fold it in half with right sides facing, and you're going to stitch using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, once you have your straps sewn together, you're going to turn them right side out using a point turner or a safety pin, whatever you have, and give them a good press. Okay, once your straps are done, we're going to go ahead and tack them down to the front. So you're going to place them right where your dots are. You're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, now I want you to go ahead and just tack these down. So just do a couple of stitches across each side to keep them in place. I tacked my straps down, and now I'm going to take my lining piece, and with right sides facing, I'm going to place it over the top, and I'm going to start to pin it. At first, we're going to stitch the top all the way across, and then we'll work on the rest of it. So let's go ahead and start pinning. Make sure that you align your side seams so that they match up. Now when you get to the back, we're going to leave small openings where you have your dots. So about a 1/2 inch right at the center of that dot. I'm going to leave about a 1/2 inch opening on both sides. So I'm going to put a pin to remind myself to stop. And start again. Okay guys, we're gonna go to the sewing machine and we're going to start stitching across the top, making sure to leave an opening here and an opening here. All right guys, you're gonna be using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance back stitch at the beginning. I'm gonna stop about a 1/4 of an inch from where my dot is. And I'm gonna back stitch. Now I'm gonna move a 1/4 of an inch past my dot. And start again, back stitch. All right, I went ahead and trimmed my seam allowance along the top. We're going to continue pinning the rest of our top. Now, right in the middle of the back, you're going to leave a 2-inch opening that we're going to use to turn our entire top right side out. Okay, now that we have the entire thing pinned, we're going to head to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch across the front all the way around our top, again making sure that we leave a 2-inch opening in the center and then continuing to the other side. All right, I want you to go ahead and trim your seam allowances, trim into your corners, and then turn your top right side out through the center opening that we left. Okay, as you can see, I turned my top right side out. I've given the entire thing a good press. I still have this opening here where we turned it right side out. I'm just gonna slip stitch that by hand closed after I'm done. And I still have these 2 openings. So now would be a good time for you to try this on, pin the front together, and adjust the strap. So you're gonna place your strap inside of that opening. You can go ahead and adjust it, try it on, and if you need to pull some more, then just pull some more until it fits properly, and then you can go ahead and just tack that down. Okay, now all you have left to do is to mark your buttonhole markings using your buttonhole guide. Make your buttonholes, attach your buttons, close out this opening, don't forget that, and you are all done. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this sew along. Please make sure and follow me on Instagram if you're not following already, at Mimi G Style, and make sure and tag me in all of your amazing creations. Until next time, peace.